guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this video I'm doing a couple of 2v2v2v2 games on the map Winter Horror. I'm playing in the Soviets. As you can see, this map is absolutely tiny. The teams were randomly assigned and my teammate was Eric. Now you have to be very careful at the start because what you need to make sure is that you follow your teammate and obviously go to the same side as him. And Eric immediately getting attacked by green above, and this is really bad because Eric is losing his power plant, and that means he's going to have a very slow building speed and he's not going to be able to build things very quickly. I'm also getting attacked by pink from the left hand side, so there's not much I can do to help green now, but green with the flame tower crawl, and he's on my MCV, and that MCV will go down quite quickly if I don't do something, but there's nothing I can really do in this position. I'm just going to have to undeploy my MCV and go away. So that's me and Eric, both of us have had to undeploy our MCVs and run very low HP. But now you can see that green, who attacked Eric at the start and then attacked me, is now sort of in a fight with yellow, who's gone for the attack from behind. And although green got a good start against us, he's finding out what happens when you don't start with your teammate. He's now getting attacked from either side, and yellow seems to be taking out his MCV. Is that MCV going to go down? It just stays up. And yeah, green has just managed to save it there. Myself and Eric are both in the same position. We're just trying to repair our MCVs and just trying to get some infantry out, and I'm going to be trying to get an ore refinery out as well and get on those gems. But now green on the left hand side, it seems like he's stabilised and he's bringing some infantry over, and what I'm doing is I'm just putting my infantry in front of that power plant because I want to protect that at all costs, because if I get low on power, of course my building speed will be much lower. But now green has Eric and myself to contend with, and yellow going on the attack from the other side of the base. He's got the flame tower crawl going, and he's now starting to attack those flame towers. I'm also getting a flame tower myself on the right hand side of his base, and that's just in case he puts any flame towers out. And now we've got the flame tower on his MCV, and his MCV has gone down, and green is out of the game. He sort of got trapped between everyone there. And that's what I mean. Now I've got Eric below me. I've sort of safe on one side. I just have to contend with yellow, who's a bit further up the map from me, and getting my infantry there, just protecting that ore refinery, which is vital at this stage. I'm also getting a war factory out, which is going to allow me to build tanks. I'm just having a bit of a look further down the map as well. But now yellow, I see those infantry moving further up the map, so I'm going to have to move my infantry there just to protect that ore refinery, because that's probably going to be the main thing he's going to go for. I've also got some flame towers out just to protect from any infantry attacks. I'm also going to be able to build tanks now, which is going to help me a great deal. I'm also trying to get another war factory out just to increase that building speed, and now those infantry coming forwards, but I'll bring my infantry forwards. I will see how we are able to defend against this and get a few good kills there. But you can see yellow now with the flame tower crawl. However, now that we're getting tanks out, it's going to be a little bit more like the flame towers aren't as bad, because flame towers are super strong against infantry, but then when you've got them against tanks, they're not so good because they don't have the same damage output. But now we've got yellow in with 3 tanks, and this is very dangerous for ourselves. We haven't got enough tanks to sort of deal with this at the moment, and now yellow's starting to push down. He's starting to drive into my flame tower, and he's also attacking my war factory. I'm just trying to get as many defences up as I can at the moment and get more tanks out of those war factories. I've lost one of the war factories, but I've still got another one there. And you can see yellow, he's starting to lose his tank numbers. I've got 3 tanks now, he's only got about 1 left. And now Eric with the Tesla coil out, and that's going to make it really hard for any other team to push into our base. And we're going to see what we can do now. Our tank numbers are starting to build, and we're starting to push further and further into yellow's base, and just taking out that tank there. And now we can go for the war factory and try and stop yellow's tank production, and that's going to really hinder him. And yeah, you can see that tank going down now. It looks like yellow is all out of tanks, and now we're going to go for that MCV and just halt his production entirely. We've also got a lot of infantry there and destroying his barracks. And you can see Eric on purple as well, and purple starting to sell up now. It looks like yellow and purple are going to be out of the game, but we've still got a team in the bottom left hand side. Just taking out that last building for yellow, and now it's against red and pink. We can see them in the bottom left-hand side. It looks like red has some tanks, so we're going to have to see how we can contend with this. Also, pink has tanks as well, so just building up my tank numbers. You can see my mass is starting to build quite a bit. I've also got a Tesla coil of my own, which is going to just help with that defence. And those ore trucks now going to the middle of the map. I'm going to try and take out one of those pink ore trucks. Let's see if it goes down. It does. And now we're going against pink's tanks. We just have to be very careful here. We don't want to lose too much. And what I'm trying to do here is sort of like lure pink inside my base, just so he has to fight in the vicinity of that Tesla coil. So I'm pulling back again, and that Tesla coil getting a hit off, and now pink having to pull back, also losing another tank on the retreat. And now Eric, we can see, has a good number of heavy tanks, so we're going to be able to push in a little bit here. And we're just trying to like hamper their economy and just slowly whittle their tank numbers down. And I'm pushing back again, and pink loses another tank to that Tesla coil, and now we're taking out that ore refinery, and it looks like now pink doesn't have any ore trucks left. And yeah, you can just see Eric now has the tank numbers. He's going to be able to push into the base, destroy that Tesla coil from pink, and you can see now it looks like red is out, almost pretty much out of the game, and pink doesn't have any tanks left, so we are going to be able to take this one and home and win it. So quite a like hectic match there. You can see right from the start, it's go, go, go. Me and Eric actually almost getting wiped out at the start of that game, but fortunately we were able to pull it back. Green being caught like in the middle of plays obviously helped, and it sort of like protected us while we managed to get built up, because green was busy fighting yellow, and me and Eric were able to repair IMCVs and sort of get re-established. So again, there were ups and downs there. The hardest part though, I think, is surviving those initial stages. It's a matter of balancing base defences, infantry and ore refinery, because you're going to need to get that ore refinery out. You're also going to need to get a war factory at some point, but just when do you go for that? If you go too early, then you can get caught out by a flame tower crawl or pillbox. Well, you don't get many allied players on this, but now and again you will. Anyway, that is officially good game. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the next game I played on this map. I don't play this map too often, and this time I'm with Rambo, and we're going to the top left-hand corner. Unfortunately, we can see that no teams are following us right at the moment, and we're a bit out of the way here. You can see I'm just having a bit of a look around, and I can see that other teams aren't very close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a flame tower very, very quickly, because what I can see, I'm going to build lots of infantry as well, but what I can see is that there's like no teams really close, and that means they can't flame tower into me immediately. Yellow's so far away that it's going to take him quite a while to work up to my base, but we can see Rambo on the right hand side of my base, and he's going to be against orange, so I'm just going to send a few infantry just up there, just to help him a little bit, and orange putting out the flame tower there. So we're going to have to be very careful of that, because obviously flame towers are very strong against infantry. And now getting my ore refinery out, and we're going to be able to start mining those gems, and now start focusing on yellow's position. Yeah, I've just done a little bit of a mistake there. It happens when you're trying to place buildings down in a split second, but he's actually got a decent place for his ore refinery up at the top there. There's a single tree there, I guess, that causes a bit of blockage, but apart from that it's not too bad. But now orange with the flame tower crawl, so we're going to have to sort of defend against this. I'm just trying to get a war factory out, and that's going to allow us to build tanks, and once we get tanks out, that's going to put us in a pretty strong position. So getting my first war factory out, you can see also Rambo getting a war factory out at the same time, and now we're going to be able to defend against this as soon as those tanks go out. I'm also building a large power plant, because I'm going to try and build a Tesla coil just to defend on the right hand side there. And Rambo, I think he's got a crate there. I think that must be a crate, or unless I don't know if he actually built that actually, just to squash some of those infantry. And now we've got tanks. We're going to start being able to defend against orange flame towers, because tanks are pretty strong, as I said in the previous game, against those flame towers. I've also got a Tesla out, and that Tesla taking out one of those flame towers immediately, and that's going to be a real help to us at this moment, because we're going to be able to defend our base pretty well. And just now getting another Tesla coil out as soon as I can, but my tank numbers are starting to build up. And at the bottom of the map, it seems to be quite quiet at the moment. I think that yellow is fighting the teams on the bottom right. I've now got another ore truck out just to strengthen that economy. I'm going to send it to that gems in the top left and getting another Tesla coil out. So I'm going to have some defence on the bottom side of my base. And now we're starting to push into Orange's base. There's nothing Orange can do. It doesn't look like he's got any troops left. He's focused on building flame towers and that hasn't gone well for him. And now we're looking at what's happening in the bottom right hand position. It looks like Yellow's sort of getting like two-teamed by Red and Blue, and I think those are going to be the big threat here. But our tank numbers are starting to build up, and I'm getting that second war factory, which is going to increase the building speed of my tanks. And now I'm going to go for that extra ore refinery, which I can put in the middle of the map. Me and Rambo are in a pretty good position. We can see that Blue and Red both have war factories, but they haven't had time to build any tanks. And now we're going to push in. We're going for Blue's construction yard first of all. A Tesla coil comes out, but it's too late. And we managed to take out that power plant. And actually, I'm mistaken. Red does have a few more tanks than I initially thought. And he's got a decent army there, but Blue doesn't have much left. And now we're going to be able to take out a couple of those tanks. I've also got some Tesla coils in my base. Right at the moment though, it looks like Red is trying to finish off Yellow, who's got some infantry there to attack Red, and he's taken out his buildings. But now we're going to go in for the construction yard kill. Can we get it down? It looks like it is indeed going to go down, and now I'm just going to pull back because I know in the safety of my base I've got some Tesla coils, even if Red does have the slightly better tank numbers at this point in the game. But you can see up there Blue fighting with Rambo. He hasn't got much left. He hasn't got any war factories anyway, and he doesn't have an MCV. And now we're starting to destroy Red's ore trucks, and I think that was 2 ore trucks down and 1 more to go. That's 3 ore trucks down for Red, and now we're going to go for those ore trucks from Blue. But I'm going to have to be careful because Red is now pushing forward. He's got a lot of heavy tanks there, and now he's in my base, and I'm just going to have to try and fight this as best I can. But I do have 2 Tesla coils, and they're starting to reduce those tank numbers. And now Rambo coming in, and we can see he's got a large number of heavy tanks there. And Blue still trying to attack him in the north part of the map. But I'm just going to have to hold back here and just let my tank numbers build up slowly. I do have 3 Tesla coils, so if they do go for a base dive, I am going to be in a very good position. We also saw Rambo's army, so he's going to be absolutely fine in this game. And now I'm actually getting low on ore a little bit, so I'm going to just have to wait a bit there. We can see Rambo's got a huge army there of tanks, and this is going to be a good game. There's no way the other team are going to be able to pull back. So that just shows you what can happen on this map. If you sort of like get in a bit of an isolated position where you have time to build up, you can just like build up really quickly and get in an unstoppable force. It was like getting that ore refinery out early. I realised that I was in like a safe position, so I got the ore refinery out, got the war factories out early, and we were able to get those tanks out and start winning that game. So, a bit of a crazy map there. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.